All right, guys, we have a good one to go over. This is Jeremy from Financial Education. We'll be going through his channel and 3 important points about him that you guys need to understand. And if you guys are following his material and also subscribers of him, drop a comment below talking about your experience following his work. Now, there's going to be some things that you probably do know and some things you don't know. So I'm going to go through step by step and let's dive into it, okay? So here's his channel, Financial Education, 728,000 subscribers, lots of videos, lots of content to review and talk about. Now, we're going to go through something a little bit different when it comes to the first video. This is from Jay Money's channel. Now, his experience is something that I want to bring light to this, okay?
Have you ever wondered what stock returns you would get by following certain YouTubers that maybe recommend a stock or buy the stock themselves? You buy those exact same stocks, hold them for a long term. What type of returns would you get and they get during that time? Well, I asked that same question about 18 months ago. I selected about 7 YouTubers to follow over the last year and a half to see if I bought into those same stocks, how well would they do? And it was very enlightening and interesting overall because 2 of the investors did beat the market. And when I say the market, that's S&P 500. The other 5 did not. In fact, 2 of them.
Now we're going to go into those individuals, especially Jeremy, real quick right here. J Money. So Jeremy's account is, let me see.
Actually had a different ticker symbol. So if you go back and watch my old go bankrupt.
All right, here we go. So here's the beginning of Jeremy in his review, okay?
Jeremy from Financial Education and Chris Sane. Now, I will say looking at some of these ticker symbols, for example, like Tattooed Chef by Jeremy, also Smile Direct Club, both those companies went bankrupt. So that's why you see negative 100% there. Now, as far as Chris Sane goes, he had 3 different stock picks from Home, GNU.
Now, some advice or something to think about, guys. If you're going to follow a YouTuber, follow some guru he's found online, really examine what they're into because a lot of these influencers get a lot of revenue from YouTube, AdSense, and also from their sponsors and, some of their core sales. They can make a bunch of videos talking about them buying and losing money on stocks, but recoup that money somewhere else. And it basically is a small dent in their portfolio. Now, I'm not saying that he does this for Jeremy, but I do know he's earning money on the back end from some of these sponsors. So let's get into a little bit more detail about these losses that he experienced with following Jeremy's stuff.
US and then TRCH. Now, they did not go bankrupt. Either they went private or they merged with another company. So that's why they're showing 0%. So during the last 18 months, Jeremy did negative 31%. His worst ones in here is Oatly, negative 64%. Obviously, those 2 that went bankrupt, which we talked about. Planet 13, negative 50%.
Now, if you bought the same stuff near the same time for Jeremy, you probably received similar losses. Now, this has to be understood that you're copying and mimicking a YouTuber or a financial guru. This is not typically what should be done. So just analyze what you're doing and be careful about the people you follow because the next thing I'm about to talk about is what hurt a lot of people out there. Is FTX. Now, if you guys don't know about FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, there's so much information out there, but basically he scammed a lot of people and the financial gurus out there didn't really say much during the time because they're getting shielded so much money. Let's see what CoffeeZilla has to say. I think he has a really good breakdown of this.
Okay, the guy you see next to me is the most generous billionaire in the world, and I found him.
Ever? The most generous billionaire ever, where you can get 10% off on your trading fees.
These are bad. These are very bad. But FTX, there are no fees whatsoever.
And if you sign up with our
Oh yeah, this is not going to age well for them.
Link. Signing up using my link.
There are referral links. If you use my link below and the code name Paul Nash.
Oh, stop it, please. You guys are embarrassing yourselves. Listen, what a win.
Now, these are financial gurus, the top of the people. Actually, let me check the audio real quick. Make sure everything's good. But these gurus were making a ton of money selling off, sharing their FTX experience. Now, people, even including myself at the time, completely steered away from FTX, saying it was not the investment for people to get into. If you are going to do it, be very careful about the funds. I find it kind of shaky, so I completely steered away from it. I wish I made more content about it at the time, but, here we are today.
Week it has been for financial influencers. Their reputations have just been going down the toilet. People who promoted absolute garbage companies like FTX US and BlockFi for millions of dollars. Today, we're finally seeing the results as both of those companies are basically bankrupt. And so today,
so we know that these guys are being paid. And here's an important thing right here. So this is off of Scott Schaefer's channel. And Tom Nash has a smaller channel, but if Tom Nash was getting 50K a video to pump FTX, I guarantee Jeremy was getting a whole lot more. So if given that he is making a whole bunch of money off of FTX, and you see the character of this individual, to me, this is where a lot of the bad comes into it. So we check out some of the comments, especially the ones I already have highlighted. Like this one around here. I think everyone needs to take more responsibility on who they accept as a sponsor and who they push out on their viewers. This is something you guys got to take. And, if people are shilling a whole bunch of stuff, selling you their courses, selling you, and people are repeatedly buying this stuff, maybe the person who's selling the information or giving the information should not be, consumed as much or at all. But that's just my opinion when it comes to that, because a lot of these comments like this right here, not even a little surprised. Anything Jeremy promotes needs to be avoided at all costs. So there is some bad and good into that. The bad part, you can obviously get burned, lose a lot of money, but there are a little good because I like that he's somewhat transparent, what I'm going to go to in the next couple of videos. I remember Millennium Graham would be a fanboy of Sam Bankman-Fried. So we have a lot of people saying some negative things, some truth about what happened, especially with this FTX stuff. Now, I see if you watch this video and his explanation onto it, to me, it just, no. I would typically ignore it because, the responsibility is on him. Now, let's go to that. This is what I like also about him. Now, this is not all bad. He does take some accountability and say that some things went bad. He has 2,500 plus videos, and him breaking down one of them that he's taken a loss. It's very rare that people want to talk about their losses and actually share it. But for him to do that, I do, say that is a positive thing about him and his channel. Would I follow his advice personally? No, I would not at all. But for the viewer who is, and for his current subscribers, tell me actually what your guys' thoughts are about this, about following this information. Has it been helpful? Maybe it has. I just want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. While you're there, like the video, subscribe to the channel. So what I just did is, when it comes to his 50,000, I just spent on the 7 stocks. Since I can't go back in the past and see how he did perform because other people have done that, what we're current stuff is that I'm going to write it down, put it into an Excel spreadsheet, and see how it does in the future for his current 50,000 he's put out into the market. So I did this right here when it comes to the explanation sheet. I'm sorry, I made this explanation sheet for this. His 50,000 he spent on Shopify, Tesla, PayPal, Shopify, Cheesecake Factory, and how much he spent. So we're going to break this down and see how we can be hold him accountable and see if these are profitable or not. Because a lot of people will just take his, take him as take him at front value, what he's saying. But we're going to hold him down to the fire and see what he's actually doing. Is it good or bad? And you can do this on a demo account or just an Excel spreadsheet to see if they're winners and losers instead of blindly buying into it, which I think people are doing, which you're going to hold yourself accountable to that too. It's not all Jeremy's fault, but he is selling this type of information. So I wanted to make this exposing video also just to educate you guys about what's happening with this channel and what is he doing in some other YouTubers in the perspective. So if you thought this was a winner or a loser, just subscribe to the channel for more content. Like the video, drop a comment. I really want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. And peace, guys.